On February 26, 2024, 13-year-old Maddie Soto was reported missing in Orange County, Florida. What began as a frantic search for a missing child quickly unraveled into a horrific case of long-term sexual abuse and murder that shocked the community. Maddie lived with her mother, Jennifer Jen Soto, and Jen's boyfriend, Stephen Stearns. On the morning of February 26th, Stearns claimed he had dropped Maddie off at school. However, Maddie never arrived at school that day. When she failed to return home, Jen Soto reported her daughter missing. As the investigation began, detectives quickly became suspicious of Stephen Stearns. Surveillance footage reportedly showed Maddie apparently deceased in the passenger seat of Stearns' car on the morning of February 26th, contradicting his story about dropping her at school. On February 28th, detectives brought Stearns in for questioning. The interview started cordially, with detectives asking about the events of Sunday, February 25th, Maddie's 13th birthday. Stearns claimed he arrived home around 8 to 8:30 p.m. that night after Maddie's birthday party. He described the sleeping arrangements, saying Jen slept separately while he and Maddie slept in the upstairs guest room. As the interview progressed, detectives confronted Stearns with evidence found on his phone. They told him they had discovered over 1,700 images of Maddie engaged in sexual acts with Stearns over several years. At this point, Stearns requested a lawyer, and the interview ended. He was detained on charges of capital sexual battery and possession of child pornography. The next day, March 1st, detectives interviewed Jen Soto. This lengthy interview revealed disturbing details about the household dynamics and raised questions about how much Jen knew about the abuse. Jen described allowing Maddie and Stearns to have sleepovers together, though she claimed it only happened a handful of times. She said they would all sometimes sleep in the same bed, with Maddie in the middle. Detectives expressed disbelief and frustration at Jen's apparent lack of concern for Maddie and her prioritization of Stearns. They pointed out that when police became suspicious of Stearns, Jen's first reaction was to tell him to get a lawyer. Jen struggled to explain this, saying she was in shock and didn't know what to believe. Throughout the interview, detectives pressed Jen for any information on where Maddie's body might be. They told her they believed Maddie had been murdered on Sunday night or Monday morning. Jen speculated that if Stearns had killed Maddie, he may have strangled her to avoid leaving evidence. She mentioned Highway 192 as a possible location where Stearns could have disposed of the body. Later that same day, March 1st, Maddie's body was discovered on a farm off Hickory Tree Road, which connects to Highway 192, the area Jen had mentioned multiple times. The discovery came after a tip from a man who reported seeing someone matching Stearns' description changing a flat tire in that area. The medical examiner later determined that Maddie had been strangled to death. Documents revealed the abuse had been ongoing since at least 2020, when Maddie was only 9 years old. The case raises many troubling questions about how such extensive abuse could go undetected for so long. Jen Soto's statements and behavior during the investigation have been scrutinized, though she has not been charged with any crimes related to Maddie's abuse or death. Some key aspects of the case that have drawn particular attention. 1. Sleeping arrangements. Jen allowed Maddie to sleep alone with Stearns on multiple occasions, and they sometimes all slept in the same bed with Maddie in the middle. 2. Jen's reaction to police suspicion. When police began focusing on Stearns, Jen's first instinct was to tell him to get a lawyer, rather than prioritizing finding her missing daughter. 3. Missed signs. The abuse had apparently been ongoing for years. Investigators and the public have wondered how Jen could have been unaware, given the living situation. 4. Normalization of concerning behavior. Jen described Stearns and Maddie's snuggling as normal, raising questions about boundaries and grooming behaviors. Number 5. Potential pregnancy. Detectives raised the possibility that Maddie may have been pregnant, though this has not been confirmed. The case highlights the importance of recognizing signs of child abuse and maintaining appropriate boundaries between children and adults. It also underscores the need for thorough investigation when a child goes missing, as the initial hours can be critical. Stephen Stearns was indicted for Maddie's murder at the end of April 2024. He has pleaded not guilty to the murder charge and the sex crimes charges. His next court appearance is scheduled for the following month. The community has been left reeling from this tragic case. Many have questioned how the system failed to protect Maddie and how such extensive abuse could go unnoticed. The case has sparked discussions about child safety, the importance of believing children when they report abuse, and the need for greater awareness of grooming behaviors and signs of sexual abuse. Maddie's death has also led to calls for stricter monitoring of sex offenders and improved coordination between child protective services, schools, and law enforcement. Some advocates have pushed for expanded education programs to teach children about body safety and how to recognize and report inappropriate behavior by adults. The case serves as a grim reminder of the vulnerability of children and the devastating consequences when those entrusted with their care fail to protect them. It underscores the critical importance of maintaining appropriate boundaries between adults and children, being vigilant for signs of abuse, and taking swift action when concerns arise. As the legal proceedings against Stefan Stearns continue, many in the community are left grappling with how to prevent such tragedies in the future. The loss of Maddie Soto, a young life full of potential cut brutally short, will likely have lasting impacts on her family, friends, and the broader community. The case also highlights the complex and often challenging nature of child abuse investigations. The interviews with both Stearns and Jen Soto demonstrate the skilled questioning techniques used by detectives to elicit information and confront suspects and witnesses with evidence. The gradual reveal of information, the strategic use of confrontation, and the careful observation of reactions are all crucial components of these high-stakes interviews. Moreover, the case underscores the importance of digital evidence in modern criminal investigations. The discovery of incriminating images on Stearns' phone provided crucial evidence of long-term abuse. This highlights the need for robust digital forensics capabilities in law enforcement agencies. As the community mourns the loss of Maddie Soto, many are left wondering what could have been done differently to prevent this tragedy. The case serves as a sobering reminder of the ongoing need for vigilance, education, and robust systems to protect vulnerable children from abuse and exploitation.